Think about the fight.
I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. But let me talk something. Let me let y'all know. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. 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 I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy.
Hey, bro. Why you do this to me?
Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. He was missing. 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 I controlled the fight. I controlled the fight. I want to
Think about the fight.
I beat him. Everybody out there know I
This
beat
is
him.
Drake's fault.
Everybody out there know I
Drake,
beat him.
bro. Why you do this to me?
Yeah, I know I beat that boy, man. Listen, on the return is the Doomatron. I'm activated, man. Listen, we had some minor difficulties in the studio. Yes, we took care of it. My apologies, man. I was off point right there. It was a tiny little tweak I had to make in the Matrix. Agents got me this time around, man. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, of course. And we were getting into the topic of Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul in Saudi Arabia, man. It was a crazy ass event. Saying it again, man. Yo, Tycho TV, man. David, the kid, Jay was goody. Everybody that's tuning in, I'm reactivated. Shout out to everybody that's stuck with me right now on the return for the episode, man. I had to talk about it. I really enjoyed the event. There were celebrity boxers. You know, if you want to say celebrity, I mean, look, listen, I'm a fan. So when you talking about Deontay Wilder, you know, being in the in the crowd, you know, I'm thinking celebrity. You know, I'm thinking big things, and he was talking big things too during the telecast. In between the fights, of course, you know, he gave us little clues into you know, his future, and you know, it looks like he's going to be having some pretty exciting nights. Federal Six, my man Federal Six says, what channel was that on? It was on ESPN, my brother. ESPN. You missed it. No, you didn't. Maybe you did. But yeah, it had a decent card, you know. If we're talking about the undercard, the last three fights are pretty good. You know, overall, I think that we had a decent card, and and then for the amount of attention this fight garnered, I mean, come on, yo, this was crazy. I mean, and people kept tapping in on that. You know, they kept talking about how, you know, we normally you would have needed a huge, you know, fight name and belts on the line to get this type of attention, and lo and behold, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury in his own right, being a boxer, growing into a fighting family, and you know, being exposed to the sport from the rip, and you know, for the most part, having an amateur record, and actually been had some stake in the game. You know, before Jake Paul. Jake Paul's fairly new, started late, but nonetheless dedicated, and I think that he showed it in this fight. But how about we get into some of the fights that happened before Jake Paul, because you know, we will dive into Jake Paul, something serious. But before I continue, let me get out of my little hiding place I am right now. Bang! All right, I was gonna play the whole game like that, you know what I'm saying? But nah, just kidding. Let me go back to the comments, man. I know. Listen, salute to you, Team Bat Boxing. Glad Fury won. Listen, I'm gonna have to go down as the guy who said that Jake Paul was gonna get him. You know, I really thought that Jake Paul would have actually put him down, you know, before the fight was over. I really did think that, because I think that, you know, even though Jake Paul, you could call him what you want still, I mean, he's proven it time again that he's getting in there fighting, and he's boxing, he's training like a boxer. I don't think we could call him a YouTuber, especially after this fight. So you know, he was in there, and you know, he tapped in with that right overhand a couple times, but Tommy took the shots well. Tommy being a young fighter, you know, 23 years old, come on, you know, he's got his stamina and wits about him. He reacted pretty good to Jake Paul's power shots, and it wasn't just the right overhand. It was a left hook too, couple of left hooks that Jake Paul was landing on Tommy Fury. So you start to see the evolution of somebody who was just a YouTuber, entertainer, to somebody who really took the sport serious. And unfortunately for Jake Paul, he lost. And he says, "Judge me by my losses, not by my wins." And I'm gonna say that, hey, listen, he wins anyway, right? It's a fucking money grab right there. He gets his fucking rematch clause activated, and he goes into it with Tommy Fury a second time with the experience of being in the ring with him. So like, he takes away some good things from this fight into the next. He can pretty much, I think, put away at Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury got hit with some hard shots. I don't know, man. It was a payday for sure, my man Tycho. I'm thinking it's a payday. I wouldn't go into conspiracy theories and go real deep dived into it and say that it's something like that they planned. But what I mean, look, it turned out to be something that's going to benefit them both. He immediately said that he wanted to run it back, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Whether it happens in Saudi Arabia or not, we do not know. What do you guys think about that, though, man? The whole event in Saudi Arabia. What you guys think about, the graphics, the entertainment, the walkouts? Feel free to comment on the chat and let me know how you felt about the overall presentation of the show. Saudi Arabia is known for doing it big, and this is not the first fight that they've done. And now I think that I believe, for a few years now, they've really established themselves as a monster in the game, and putting these big fights together. And I think that now it's just it's like a fight capital now, and fighters love to go there. The people love to go there, and I think it's developed into a great a great country for boxing. And it has some of its own heroes that are up and coming. And we'll talk about, I guess, some of the fighters that were native to Saudi Arabia, that represent Saudi Arabia, that are taking the flag up. And let's see. I think my man's name is Badir Samrin, and he fought a guy that obviously did not belong in there with him, but nonetheless, Badir did what he had to do, and he put the guy away in the fashion that was needed, in order for us to stay convinced that he can go ahead and continue developing and learning and becoming a better fighter. It's early stages for Badir, 7-0 now, and I think that as long as these fighters from Saudi Arabia, and this is just my personal opinion and advice, as long as these fighters are being exposed to all forms of styles of boxing, especially American style boxing, it's important for their development, to get that exposure. I don't know exactly who they bring in or whatnot. I know that the other Saudi fighter, Siad Al-Mayyouf, and excuse me if I murdered that, my friend, but also known as Zizi. He had a tough matchup with a Ronald Martinez, who, for a fact, a lot of the guys on the telecast were saying that pre-fight, he was somebody to be taken serious. He was very serious about his fight with Zizi, and I think that Zizi was he experienced what he needed to experience in the development of a young fighter. So I think that Zizi right now is, of course, gonna have to learn much from all of his fights, but nonetheless, he was able to walk around with a win. I mean, look, some of us argue, some were arguing on the live chats on the other platforms that might have been different. It was close. Look, whatever you may say, that's not his job. It's not Zizi's job to judge the fights. It was his job to get up off the canvas and continue to fight, continue to press. He never stopped pressing. There's a lot of things that you can learn from a fighter, especially when he gets knocked down. We all remember what happened when Ryan Garcia was knocked down by my man Campbell from UK. Shout out to my UK brethren out there. And, Ryan Garcia got up, and, we praised him for it. And, he was able to be seen in a different light. So, good for Ziad Al-Mayyouf for his ability to, have heart, get up off the canvas, and continue to put pressure on Martinez. Martinez, again, somebody that, you're not going to sit there and put too much stock into him. But Ronald was there, was game, and he was there to fight. Man, he was throwing some good leather, good overhand rights. He was testing Zizi, and Zizi managed to pass the test. Obviously, we always want to do our very best to not leave it in the hands of the judges. He was lucky on this one. He continues on undefeated. So, hopefully. I mean, look, listen. I would ask ZZ if I had any influence in ZZ's trajectory. I'd tell him, listen, you've been out there in LA, you've been in Cali. I don't know if you've been out here in New Jersey, but you need to come to New Jersey. You need to come train here in New Jersey, right here. I got the perfect gym. Shout out to Coach T. Shout out to Danny in Elite Fitness, and everybody out there. It's some good work out here. Shout out to my man Bobo Shanti too. Got two of his sons doing great, and I think that he would develop very good out here. Let's see it. I want to tap in with you guys. What did you think about that fight? I know there's a couple of them we could tap in on. Paul won, my man. Okay, so Raheem's on the chat saying Paul won. He wants to get right into it. He wants to talk about Jake Paul and Tom Fury, of course. But let's talk about my man Casson. Is that how you pronounce the name? Let me see exactly what the name is pronounced. I want to murder my man. It's Musin Casson. Yeah. Apologies for that. Yeah, so Musin Casson was fighting Tariel Javarov, and listen, it was a 7-year difference, I think, in age. He got hit with that one right hand, man. I mean, I like Casson. I think he did what he had to do. Also, you got some guys that are in there, with guys that are gonna slightly test them, and if they test them too much, you could gauge them out to be the goods, right? Right. It looks like Casson turned out to be the goods. Shout out to my man Steve SG Pass on the chat. Chill. Word is born. He out here. But yeah, man, it's a matter of opinion. Look, if you're a UK fighter and you fight in the UK, 9 out of 10 times they're gonna favor you, right? Even though we're gonna say that the judging system is fair, we could get into all this arguing later. But let's just say that if you're a UK guy, you're gonna go for the UK guy. If you're from Saudi Arabia, and it depends. This is not a solid across the board, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to make it so that you guys at least entertain that, that thought that, you're gonna judge towards your guy. He's like the hometown hero, whatever. It was close. They were being a little biased. I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't. It didn't leave a distasteful taste, over here. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Martinez hadn't done enough, in my opinion, to really solidify the win, especially, him being the guy that's coming to foreign territory and, the whole spiel. So, yeah, I don't think it was that. It was that, but I can see why some would have thought that. So, but man, Musin Kaysen for the 200-pound cruiserweight division, man, he got, as soon as he came out with that right hand overhand, he threw it a couple times before he landed, man. When he landed that right hand, my man's brain fell out of his ear and shit, and nobody even noticed. That shit flew across the wind. Yo, my man, listen, the guy, listen, I don't want to kill nobody's name. It's Jafarov. Okay, Jafarov versus Casson. Casson, when he hit him with that overhand right, you got to understand, Jafarov didn't know where he was. It was totally understandable, even not coming out. I was actually impressed by him just still managing to continue that round after that shot. I mean, those are some really life-changing shots, ladies and gentlemen. There's some shots in life, and not only in life, but especially in the ring. There's some shots in the square circle you can take that'll change your life, all right? For all those you guys that are hard on the boxers, when it comes to fighting and shit, and you're sitting on your couch pointing the finger. Let me tell you something. There's some shots out there that some of these fighters take and they go home, they heal, but they're never the same. It's some crazy ass shots you can take out here in this ring. And yeah, Jafarov definitely took one of those shots. He was done deal, finito, and it is what it is. He did what he had to do, so it was impressive nonetheless. And just I guess giving some give him some shine and some light, I guess, on the other fights besides the three main event ones. I know you guys must have been off your seats watching the Badou Jack and Makabu fight, man. That one was pretty dope. That was full action on that one. We go back to the comments, man, to just tap in with the whole crew, man, and read some of these things up. Okay, you got my man graphics guy says the commentators were definitely being biased. Yeah, I looked at that comment before I put it up here, brother. And yeah, it could have been seen that way. SG Pass says I really thought it was gonna be a draw. Yeah, I would have seen it that way too. For Jake Paul and yeah, I would have seen it like that for Jake Paul. I was surprised about the whole point deduction thing. At first I was just like, wait, but who's really holding? I thought that Jake was the one holding, but Tommy got the point for the holding, and then I thought that the Paul was, I don't know, it was just like who's punching in the back of the head. It was confusing there with the referee. My man Josh Bunch says KSI sucks big time. Yeah, I wonder what he had to say about this. So does fake Paul. Listen, Josh, man, listen. You got to understand something. You can't even joke around on these guys. They're getting in the ring. They fighting. My man Steven T says, thought Tommy did enough to win, but wouldn't have argued with a draw or it going the other way. Okay. I mean, it was a decent fight. To be fair, to both exceeded my expectations. Yeah, they did exceed my. Listen, that's the point, right? Come on, they both exceeded they exceeded all of our expectations, man. These guys, they gave us a good fight. This was a pretty good fight, technically. I mean, they both had their moments. I think that they handled their adversities pretty damn well. I mean, they gave us a professional fight, so I got nothing to argue about that. Shout out again to my man TV, making sure that the love's being shown, man. It's 35 viewers, only 11 likes. Guys, please smash the like button for the Doomatron. Smash it up. Stop playing. We're talking Paul versus Tommy Fury post-fight. What the? Take this hat off, man. I listen. You already heard what my man Drake said. All right, you already heard. He was on there online. I don't know if it's fake or not, obviously, but he was on there talking about that. He had bet 400,000, 400,000. All right, on Jake. So I mean, that's pretty crazy, But what are you gonna do? It's crazy.
Fuck, this is Drake's fault. Drake, bro. Why you do this to me?
Why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? 400,000. Listen, I really thought Jake was gonna win too, but we're gonna get there right now. Listen, we're giving some light to the whole card. Before we jump on, we're gonna give some light, and we gotta give some light to Badou Jack versus Makabu. Let me tap in real quick back into the chat because I know some of the champions did watch the fight. All right, so I'm gonna tap in right now with all right, and SG, shout out to you. Great fight with Jack Makabu, he says. Commentators were annoying. Yeah, they were a little. I mean, listen, man. A lot of people were just very happy to be in Saudi Arabia. Listen, it's the place to be. I mean, I've heard only great stories about how well you're treated out there. So, a lot of people in the telecast and everybody was kind of walking on eggshells, so to speak, in a sense, I don't want to tap into all that too deep, but as well as you guys saw, it. But great place to host an event, and it was pretty damn good. But let me go ahead and read Richard Hutchinson his comment. He says, Makabu versus Badou Jack, better fight. Jake versus Fury was a draw, strange point deduction, and hugging fight. Tommy isn't a good fighter. Yeah, he's not the best. You know, he's developing. He's young. He got, I think, what, 10 fights? So, you know, I'm not expecting too much. But yeah, they were holding. I think Jake Paul was holding more. I think at times when Tommy needed to hold, he would hold, and it was excusable in my eyes. Shots were pretty damn good. Shots were landed on Tommy when he would try to hold. I think that for the most part, you probably would say that you know Jake Paul was holding, but he was holding when he was tired. And towards like the later part of the fight, man, I seen that he was a little bit gassed. Either that or he was trying to play some grappling game with Tommy, because he would turn it up in the later rounds. I mean, he really came out really guns a blazing. So I don't know if he was conserving energy, mind games, Jedi focus. I have no idea, but he was definitely you know, he was throwing hella bombs, man. My man Jake Paul was throwing hella bombs. He was sloppy though, man. He was missing them shits. He was missing some crazy shots. He should have been able to tap in. Oh, my man. Oh, who's that? JB Austin in the building. Don't got the Switch soundboard right now. Zip in the building too, man. Zip Tanner, videographer. Let's go, champ. But tap in right now. My man Boxing Pound for Pound Jack says, in the rematch, I believe Tommy knocks him out and his team knows it as well. See, Boxing for Pound. See, Jack, listen, I know that you was rooting for Tommy, and listen, whether you were rooting for Tommy or Jack, it doesn't fucking matter. All right, stick with your team. Tommy did a lot of great things in that fight, but a lot of people would say that Jake Paul took away a lot from this fight too. I didn't like the times that Tommy got hit with these hard shots. You know, he reacted well, but I didn't like that he was getting clipped with these shots. It was shots that Jake was setting up that were being thrown like Canelo style velocity. You know, you ever see my man Canelo Alvarez throw a fucking body shot? I mean, anything he hits, even if he's punching your bicep off your arm, he's throwing with such velocity. And that's the type of velocity and surprise that I was seeing from Jake Paul. Every time he would throw a really hard shot, he was throwing it with bad intentions and he was landing. So, and Tommy Fury really did look bigger than Jake Paul and all the pictures and everything. And as they were in the ring, I got to see that it was more just like body type that Tommy Fury had. But you know, Jake Paul was holding his own weight. He was at times, in angles, I was like, yo, he's the bigger guy. But you guys tell me if I'm wrong on that, you know. I'm just saying. My man JB Austin says, just saw the highlights. Fury could actually be a good boxer if he knew how to hold his hands up, actually use some better defense. I mean, do you think you say that, JB? But do you say that Jake Paul actually was in there fighting pretty good? I mean, did he surprise Tommy? I mean, did you see that, or did Tommy look mediocre because he's mediocre, or because Jake Paul is just a decent fighter? You know, I'm not gonna say he's a super good pro. I'm just saying that as far as many fights as he's had in late start, he's doing pretty damn good. SG. There won't be a lot of interest for a rematch. The fight was horrible. You crazy. How was the fight horrible, first of all? Steve, man, don't make me get at you, champy. Is what time is this? It's 9:30. All right. I don't want all this arguing before my bedtime, champ. I'm going to sleep early today. I'm trying to get, my circadian rhythm on point. What do you mean this fight was terrible, champ? Where's my soundboard? Jesus, I'm just gonna have to motherfucking play my man Paul again and shit. Like, bro.
Fuck. This is Drake's fault.
It was Drake's fault. It was a good fight. You got a little bit of everything in this fight, And why wouldn't there be interest, man? The Zone has these fucking X series. I mean, there's a bunch of YouTube guys that are bunch of social media guys punching each other in the face. It's a thing. Welcome. You got to accept it. If you didn't accept it a few years back when we were talking about it in the very beginning, when we were, making we were the critics. But this shit's fucking live and happening. SG, yeah, listen, it's an 8-rounder. And yeah, it was a little boring at times when the holding, but we've seen worse. We've seen worse than that. It was fucking a little annoying. And I know the referee was annoying. Listen, shout out to the referee for one and for another. I probably can question some of the things he did, but he was trying to establish his authority in the ring with these guys. I kept seeing Jake and Tommy kind of looking at him. They didn't know what to do. They were those holding. Listen, Steve, the holding at times was annoying. We've seen worse though. I would like to see the rematch, because in the rematch we want to see the knockout. I mean, that's what I expect. I'm not trying to see another 8-rounder. For the shots that they landed on each other, they should be able to learn something. They should come back and give us a knockout. That's for sure. Jake versus MMA is more popular. I mean, that's we don't even know. You're probably right on that shit. You know, MMA, and I'm not saying that boxing doesn't have a huge following, but what I'm saying is MMA does, I believe, have a bigger following. So maybe Jake does hella good in MMA if he does transition to it. Listen, at this point, this kid is doing it all. I mean, he said it after the loss. You know, I'm winning in life. I've already won. He's gotten to do everything he has done, and he's gotten the chance to actually be a gladiator and fight in the biggest of event spaces and arenas. I mean, whatever you want to say, man, you can glamorize this whole thing. The kid's done it, so yeah, you can do it again, MMA style. Let's go back to my man Richard Hutchinson. Says both fighters were tired, biased commentators, no skill, no technique in the fight. If Bibble and Betrier fight Tommy in light heavyweight, they would kill him. Yeah, come on, you can't even put these guys. Tommy can't touch these guys, man. Tommy's fucking too young, and honestly, he was so fucking happy after the win. I mean, look, it goes to show you that there was a lot of pressure on top of Tommy Fury. And for anybody to say otherwise, I mean, I don't know what you guys. I mean, it's Sunday. You know, I don't know if you guys still token on that official as Gasolina, but the kid had a lot of pressure on him, and that does take a toll mentally. And when you fuck with the mental, fucks with the physical. You know what I'm saying? They connected. You can't really take those two apart. So he was going through it, and Jake Paul was actually reading all this stuff at the weigh-ins and at the pressers, and especially at the weigh-ins. You know, he was saying that Tommy was moving all around. He was jittery, and it looked that way for a little bit. You know, you got the Fury name. You know, you're gonna lose to a YouTuber thing hanging over your head. Your family name got to be honored. If not, you dishonor the name. You're done. You're gonna have to take your mother's maiden name. Not that that's bad. All right. I'm not gonna try to get at the mother's maiden name, but you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You lose the Fury fighting name. All this shit. Yeah, man. And you gotta understand that after that, you know, it was a big relief. And it was close. I'm telling you, it could have easily went to Jake Paul. Easily went to Jake Paul. I had no problem giving it to Jake Paul, my friend. Dolphin Time says Tommy just beat up on Jake, but he just too pillow fisted to stop Jake. He was a little slappy with his punches at times. There were some of those punches that were a little slappy. You know, he has really long arms. I mean, if you really look at his arms, they're abnormally long. I mean, we're talking about fist to the knee type shit. You feel me? Like very long arms. And that should have been helping him, you know, keep the distance, throw long hooks, you know, from the outside. But again, it just goes to show you guys he has to develop. Not everybody's going to be a Tyson Fury, you know. There's many Furies in the family. Nah? There's only one Tyson Fury. That movement, that flavor, the rhythm, that's Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? We can't expect, you know, Tommy to try to rise to fill those shoes. I mean, he could strive to, you know, he could try and hit his best in his own weight class to do these things. But, you know, there's only one Tyson Fury, and I think that there was a lot of pressure on him trying to fill those shoes. Back to Dolphin Time says fight was actually more entertaining than I thought it would be. Tommy was landing shots, but like I said, man, it's pillow fisted as fuck. Yeah, he was pillow fisted as fuck. And y'all took me straight to Jake Paul, man. Y'all not talking about the Makabu fight, man. Talking about he wanted Canelo Alvarez next. He had to finish your man Badou Jack. Badou Jack came in there with a little extra on the keg. No problem. My man was fighting, cruiser, no problemo. You got to understand, once you make the jump from light heavyweight to cruiserweight, we're talking about a 25-pound jump, all right? It's a hell of a jump. We're not talking about like 168 to 175. You know, that's a little something, son. We're not talking about 160 to 168. No, we're not talking about 154 to 168. We're talking about 175 straight to 200. That's a 25-pound jump. Different fight at that level. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that because of Makabu's experience in that weight division and him being naturally, experienced in that division, that he would be able to have more stamina and do a lot more in volume. But I can't argue too much with the volume either. He was throwing a hell of a lot of punches. His style was really, I can't even say Joe Frazier because it wasn't. It was just, it had that rhythm, but it was the wrong moves in that rhythm. You know what I'm saying? When Joe used to do his thing, he used to use the cross, used to get close to you, the cross guard, get close to you, hit you with the body, hit you with some hard. He would throw hard shots. I've seen a lot of jabs from Makabu, but I never seen him attack in a way where he would really cut Badou Jack's movement in the ring and really land on him, start to lean on him, and start to really put that natural 200-pound weight on him. I never really got to see that. Badou Jack's fucking feet were pretty damn good. Badou, it surprised me. Not that it surprised me, but in a sense, he impressed me. I guess that's the word. He impressed me in the way he was handling your man's Makabu, man. I'm telling you, Makabu was fucking. Makabu was. I mean, 100% sure he was gonna finish this fight. He's gonna get Canelo, this, that, and the third. Yeah, nothing. You can't talk too much shit. Jake Paul, the same shit. You gotta This is why I love fucking boxing. Boxing is a humbling sport, man. It will fucking humble you. Jake Paul talking about at the little face meet with my man Radio Raheem. Shout out to Radio Raheem too, doing a hell of a job, man, and continuing to grow in his own space, man. He's a little gigante in that area, and he was conducting the whole face off, and then Jake Paul said it. I'm looking past this guy. I'm already having my next business meeting. He was just way too cocky, and even if look, Mayweather, there's only one Mayweather. Mayweather was Mayweather. You can't just talk, man, and not really pull through, man. You cannot. My man Mayweather would talk his shit, and he would guarantee you he could fucking fight 25 rounds that night. Jake Paul slowed down. I know he wasn't happy with that, and he said it. I felt flat. And they was kind of booing him for a little bit, but I wasn't giving him no shit. I was like, yo, this is a guy who's telling the fucking truth. He looked flat down. It was no bueno, and it's pretty damn fucking business wise savvy to have that clause in there. I mean, it wasn't Tommy. If Tommy would have lost, that's it. Say goodbye, no mas. Shout out again coming through, speaking his piece. And he says Jake Paul can keep his head up to fight KSI, Nate Diaz, and rematch for Tommy Fury. Jake Paul was the real winning. Yeah, you can fucking bro. And that's another fight. Do you know how many people are going to tune into that fucking KSI versus Jake Paul, man? That's going to be huge. We're talking about a different era. Don't get mad. Don't be mad, homie. It's all right. This is what's going on, champ. We're living in these times. And my man Dolphin Time says Jake Paul needs to go back to fighting MMA fighters at boxing. Timing, even though not the great, still levels above Jake. That was the fucking soundbite from the voice box, champ. What do you mean? Tommy's not levels above Jake, bro. Didn't you see? Tommy was getting pushed back. He was boxing. Listen, once Tommy started to drop his gloves he dropped his hands down. And when you drop your hands down, ladies and gentlemen, all right, they act as a counterbalance. See these fists and shit? When you got these fists with all them gloves big as hell, you drop them shits down and you start to move and rotate. You got way better balance and faster movement in the waist. You're able to slip and jive, and then you could start to throw the jab from the hip. And Tommy did that great. I got a lot of good things to say about Tommy, but he wasn't levels above. It was just stylistically, he was doing the right thing and applying certain techniques and being successful. But he did get caught a couple of times too with his hands down. Jake would catch him with that left hook, but he did a good job. Listen, Tommy's not levels though, champ. I don't know if I can roll with that, champ. Let's go back to the comment section. Let's see if I missed anybody out. Listen, I'm gonna go back to Makabu. Makabu gets finished, right? All the way at the end, TKO. And listen, that's the type of shot that earlier in the card, my man Kassan Mushin, the Muslim fighter, the Muslim boxer, also AKA, when he hit Jafarov with that right, it was the same thing that my man Badou Jack did. Badou Jack hit him with the fucking hammer that he fucking borrowed from Thor on the weekends and shit. I'm talking about took the fucking hammer to the fucking face. And Makabu, man, even though he was a natural 200-pounder, couldn't handle that shit. I don't know. Look, I wasn't surprised that Badou won, but I was impressed. I wasn't overly impressed with Makabu's style. It was just too simple for Badou. Badou was just doing whatever he wanted. You know, I never seen Makabu adjust or change something in order to adapt to some of the movement and some of the things that Badou Jack was giving him in that ring, man. And I guess we're not going to have that fucking Canelo Alvarez fight. I think that fight was gone. If he would have won Makabu, if Makabu would have won, maybe he would have had some say in it, and maybe Canelo Alvarez would have still been interested in it because it's still a win over a cruiserweight. So that would have been pretty cool. But it's definitely, I don't think it happens now. It's no way in heck that happens. Team Batman Boxing in the Edificio says Canelo about to become a 5-weight champ. Yeah, well, what do you mean? Canelo ain't fighting Makabu. Man, Canelo. Whoa, Cash. Why is whoa. Why you fucking boxing hit me with the ad, dog? See how they try to do me, dog? You ain't even do me some fucking ducats off them fucking ads, Box Rec. You know what I'm saying? Jeez Louise. Fucking Box Rec did me dirty on that one, y'all. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, Badou Jack, man. Wait a minute. Team Batman Boxing's talking about Badou Jack versus Canelo. Okay, I thought you still had Makabu still in the building. Nah, champ, you're absolutely right. To be honest with you, it's fucking crazy, man. That we never thought about that one. But Badou Jack is not. I mean, no, I don't think that happens. I don't think that. But that's a matter of opinion. If you really think that Badou Jack is really a relevant fighter right now, he just beat Makabu, the guy that Canelo was supposed to fight. So technically, I guess he fucking snatches his soul type shit. You know what I'm saying? It says, hey, now that he Shang Tsung'd him. Hey, yo, Badou Jack Shang Tsung'd Makabu right now, bro. Now he takes Makabu's position. Canelo Alvarez now, you know what I'm saying? He got an option. He's like, damn, I get you, Team Batman. You saying now Canelo could say, I could fight the guy that beat the cruiserweight that I was going to fight. And obviously, Badou Jack is a way better cruiserweight. But let me tell you something. I think Canelo stays away from that shit. Look, Canelo played a lot of fucking crazy cards in the last couple of years, y'all. He's given us a lot of fucking risk. I wouldn't be mad if he just stayed away from all those fucking weight divisions that he fucking obviously doesn't belong in. This shit's crazy. My man says, I see holes in Christianity. Damn, champ. Well, salute. God bless, champy. And he says, I just ran into your channel for some reason. I'll drop the sub. Drop the subby, champy. Come out here. Speak your piece. Listen. I haven't even opened up the phone lines, y'all. You know this is a call-in show, right? Y'all didn't know that? Of course y'all did. Because y'all didn't subscribe. Because y'all didn't hit the notification bell. Because y'all don't be tapping in to say what's up to the Doomatron here, man. But listen, I'm going to go ahead and put it up right there. Because the phone lines are going to be going up pretty soon. And I want everybody to be able to call in. Number is 856-624-3369. The phone lines will be opening up in about 2 segundos. So we can finish it off strong, man, with some of y'all speaking your piece. I had to talk about all the fights, though. I had to give everybody they shine, man. It's just the only way for the Doomatron. All right, so shout out again to my man Ziyad, who is also known as Zizi Alamayuf, and his win over Ronald Martinez. My man Mushin Kaisen, who sent my man Teriel Javarov to the other dimension. Yeah, it's fucking some hard shots people took today. Obviously, your Saudi Arabian, local champ per se, Badir Samrin did his thing against Viral Simignon. It was a quick departure for Viral. He wasn't there, definitely wasn't in the level of Badir. And we're going to talk about Jake Paul and Tommy Fury just a little bit more on the airwaves. We covered that too. Obviously, Jake Paul was short. Listen, in my closing for the fight, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury turned out, in my opinion, to be what it was. It's a great event. A lot of people were out there. My man Chisora was out there. He was in the mix. I mean, there was a lot of fighters out there, a lot of UK fighters. My man, they brought Deontay Wilder out, the American fighter. They had my man Devin Haney out there. Devin always with the shades and shit. He out here seeing the world through another scope. And, they even asked him if he was ready to fight Lomachenko in Saudi Arabia. And he said he'd be honored to fight out there. Listen, you fight in Saudi Arabia, you made it. Stop playing games, all right? Get crazy out here. Definitely a place to look forward to fighting because, it's just, come on, it's like royalty out there, dude. It's literally royalty out there. Again, the number is 1-856-624-3369. We are going to open up the lines now. Remember, if you got Skype, cell phone, landline, whatever, call in and we'll go ahead and, plug you into the airwaves. That's 1-856-624-3369. Call-in show is open. Call in. Call in. Go back to the comments. Yeah, man. Who else was out there? Listen, if I missed anybody else who was out there besides Wilder, Devin Haney, other guys I've mentioned, let me know. Obviously, legends were there. My man Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is the reason why I took up boxing in the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? I was always trying to emulate that veracity. Hence the name Doomsday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my coach, Coach Hawk in Elizabeth, New Jersey, for taking me to that little championship, Diamond Glove Championship. You know what I'm saying? I had a short run in amateurs, but I respect the sport and definitely have fun while I was doing it. Training the whole nine. And gotta respect, bro. Gotta respect. My man Steve says, I like to see Jack or Coley unification. Nah, man, I don't know, man. Badou Jack, I think this was just something that Badou Jack did because it was something that, that he knew. I'm not going to say that he cherry picked, but he knew he could handle a Makabu. Stylistically, this was a fucking terrible matchup for Makabu. So I think that's what happened there. Old school boxing in the building says, what it do me? Well, what it? What up with you? Did you see the fight? I know I saw the fight. Jake Paul versus Tommy turned out to be good. Phone lines are open. 1-856-624-3369. You could call in right now. Don't be scared, homie. Let the people hear you, dog. Mi casa, tu casa. Stop playing. Talking about Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Turned out to be a cool event. And we had a pretty decent undercard with some of the fighters that we've been talking about. The event was dope, and I think that Deontay Wilder probably, listen, everybody that was a fighter wants to fight in Saudi Arabia out there. Shout out to the whole team out in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think it was Prince Khaled and his outfit, and I'm not too good with the names, and if I do, I'll get to know the names better. But the whole Saudi Arabian boxing scene, fight scene, period, they've made their stamp, and they've been doing it for a little bit now. So every fighter was really, really willing and anxious, and not anxious, but welcoming to fighting in Saudi Arabia. And you saw that immediately, everybody. So I think Deontay Wilder might be one of those guys. I don't know what they're cooking up for Deontay Wilder. If you guys heard something, let me know, because all I kept, hearing Deontay Wilder say is like, yeah, I don't want to spill the beans, but something's good's happening, but I don't want to spill the beans. Just I don't want to spill the beans. He didn't want to say nothing. So that means something's good gotta be coming up pretty soon. Jake Paul. All right, so listen, the phone lines are open. 1-856-624-3369. But in the meantime, while we talk about that, while I wait for the phone to ringage, we'll talk a little bit more about where Jake Paul's going to go from here. If he comes back with this rematch and he wins, he redeems himself, and he collects another paycheck. But if he loses against Tommy Fury, I mean, listen, what do you guys think that could happen in the second fight? I know one mentioned in the chat that this could go bad for Jake in the second fight, but where does Jake go? Throughout the whole lead up to the fight in the pressers, Tommy would mention that Jake Paul could lose to him and go on to be a fighter in something like the X series, fighting other YouTubers, fighting MMA fighters, guys that are not real fighters. Excuse me, not real fighters, but real boxers. Excuse me. Oh my God, that was not good. So so yeah, where does he go from here? I listen. If he loses to Tommy, I think that he really got to hang up the gloves. You know what I mean? I think that as far as fighting boxers, you know what? I can't even say that either, bro. I mean, he would have to lose pretty bad to Tommy Fury for me to actually say, okay, he has to just stay away. He seemed that way. I don't know how hungry Jake Paul is after this. I mean, the rematch clause, he grasped at it, immediately, but his post speech immediately after the ring. I'm not talking about in the presser. Was he's done it all. He's accomplished everything. So I don't know if that was talk from the heart and soul, saying, I could just let this go already. I don't have to be out here, getting punched in the face. Like, I don't know if it was that type of speech, or was this type of speech like, hey, listen, like this loss ain't gonna get me down. It was hard to decipher that one, but nonetheless, he can go either way. I would tune in. Would you tune in for KSI and Jake Paul? It's, as a hardcore boxing fan, it's not my immediate go-to, but like, I would tune in for it. Fuck it. They've had their own rivalry in YouTube. So it's like, it's the story behind the fight, that matters. And I know my guys behind the scenes that produce and, put these events together know the value of a good story behind the fight. So I think KSI and Jake Paul do have that. Tommy Fury, who does he fight next? If he, takes his rematch and wins, I don't know. He's going to have to fight guys that are actually tougher. And I know somebody is already sicking the dogs on him on the chat, talking about Bivol and better be Evan. He's not ready for guys like that, man. That would be feeding fucking Cubs the line. He would have to fight some other guys in the upcoming, and I can't even fucking remember any off the top of the head that are up and coming, like some of the guys that he get tested with, but there's fight. Lines were open 1-856-624-3610. Call Skype, landline, satellite phone, whatever, and let me know what you thought about the fight. Are you interested in the rematch? Do you want this rematch to happen or not? I wouldn't mind it. I think I would actually like to see it. I think that after the first fight, fighters get to know a little bit about each other in the ring, get to feel some of that energy, some of that power. And then second fights can be really interesting. They can either both come in with something they learn from each other, or one just comes in fucking figuring out the Da Vinci fucking code and really lays it on the other guy and, KOs him or whatever. Guys, I'm drinking, sipping water. I don't have much else to say. Listen, shout out to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate everybody always. You already know the Doomatron's coming on every now and then. If you tune into the Alex Doomsday Linus channel and you're on there right now, Mondays, we've been trying to stay consistent. This last Monday, had some personal things that I had to take care of. Couldn't schedule the show and put out the community post, but rest assured that we'll be putting out the community post on the Alex Doomsday Linus channel to see what topics you guys are interested for the next 3 weeks. We go live on Monday, 10 p.m. on the Alex Doomsday Linus channel. The Boxing Biz, of course, we cover all our boxing content on the Boxing Biz, so I'll be going live there too. I went live on both channels today because I just had to, make sure everybody's tapping there, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's how I went. That's how I did it today. Says here, no rematch. Write it in the chat, Doomy. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna let you say it, Champy. Steve says no rematch. If everybody's tuning in visually, you can see that on the front. You got put on Front Street, Holmes. Yeah, and for those who are only going audio with us, yeah, SG Pass, aka my man Steve, says no rematch. Fuck. Hey, listen, old school boxing just tapped in, says he would like to call in. Let me put it back out there. 1-856-624-3369 is the number to call. We got a live show right now. Post Jake Paul, post fight chat, just kicking him with the crew. You already know. All right, just talking my talk, letting you guys know how I feel about how things went down. We talk boxing here. You know the Dumatrons. I've been in the ring, coached a little. I ref numerous fights. If you didn't know a little bit about me, you should check me out. And looks like the call's coming in now. We're gonna go ahead and go into the phone lines. All right, let's go. All right. Welcome to the Alex Doomsday Lioness channel and the Boxing Biz here tapping in. Who's calling in? We're talking Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. How'd you think of this fight? What'd you think of this fight, champ?
Hey, what's going on, man? You know it's Adrian, man, from Wisconsin.
Holy fucking moly, the one and only. If you guys don't know my man Adrian, man, he's a fucking ill-ass fucking person. Cool as hell, boxing coach out from Wisconsin, man. He helps the youth a lot. This guy's fucking golden, man. I appreciate you calling in, Adrian, man. It's been a while. What'd you think about this event?
Man. Man, I think that Jake got what he deserved, you know? I mean, he got exposed for what he was. I mean, you know, he fought an actual boxer. You could tell by the use of the jab. You know, Tommy Fury using distance and some timing. I mean, it was kind of an ugly fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hugging. You can tell Tommy is not the best boxer in the world, but you can tell that he's technically more skilled than Jake Paul by far. Jake Paul could not close the distance right. He just kind of fell in and hugged. He was only looking for that one right hand shot to get the job done. Doesn't seem like he has too many tools in his arsenal. You know what I mean? He reminds me of a not so good Nico Ali Walsh. You know what I mean?
So what did you think about the referee? Did you have any complaints about the referee, and what did you think about the point deductions?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That ref was over involved. I mean, I think you just got to let those guys fight it out, make sure they don't hurt each other. I mean, calling for the shot in the back of the head, I mean, you could have called that shit on Tommy too, you know? So at the end of the day, I think he just was hasty, took points too quickly. I mean, in all reality, I don't think he really had to take any points from anybody. And we still would have got the same outcome.
So, are you interested in the rematch? Would you pay another $49.99 for the rematch? Are you interested, or you're like, nah?
No, not really. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that this is a good thing and a bad thing for boxing. I mean, listen, Jake's getting the women paid. He's doing the good business of boxing. So it will kind of depend to see what direction does he go now that he's lost. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see a rematch. I mean, I didn't see a guy that in 3 months is going to be able to beat the other guy. You know what I mean? If anything, I think Tommy actually puts him out this next time.
All right. So Jake Paul, you feel like right now Jake Paul is over right now. He needs to step away.
Well, I mean,
we had Radio Raheem really drilling it at these little meetups. You know, like, are you gonna just step away now if you lose? Are you gonna step away now if you lose?
Right. But that's my thing though. Like, think about it. Like, you know, a fighter's pride, right? Jake has money. Jake has everything you know, whatever want. I've seen the little message. Shit happens. I watched that little thing that he put out. I mean, his energy seems a little like, you know, he's blowing this off. His ego's hurt. His pride's bruised, you know, just like any other fighter who loses. And I think he realizes now, I mean, think of all that shit he was talking. What did he say? In a few years, he wanted to fight Canelo. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think he got hit with the bricks of reality today. That's how I look at it.
And we're gonna leave it at that. The bricks of reality. Adrian, let everybody know your social media, man. I know you're doing some good things out in Wisconsin, man. As far as the boxing community, you're a USA boxing certified coach.
Yeah, hey man, I actually got a big thing coming up. I've been producing and DJing these boxing events. It looks like I'll be actually producing an event where the Bucks play in June.
Say what?
For a really big card. Yeah, man, they paying too, Doomy. They paying, but like actually
man.
producing the show on that level. So it's looking like that's all in the works. And I've been grinding and working. So me, man. I'm trying to be in the business in a lot of ways, but I'm pretty. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And hoping it all comes together. So I can be that guy, and it's gonna be cool just to do it on that level. Because they sent me the schematics of everything in that building, how the lights work, and this, and that. So, man, this should be exciting.
Shit, man, I'm happy for you, Adrian. You've always been a good representative of the sport, and I appreciate you tapping in, man. I guess last words.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, shout out to you, Doomy, man, doing your thing out here, in these boxing streets. Yeah, if you ever want to check me out, it's just Adrian Rowan on Facebook. I'm old. And Black Man Jones on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at the TikTok level. I just got TikTok. So
TikTok and you don't stop. You'll beat it in no time, champion. Thanks for tapping in. That was my man Adrian giving his piece, man. And we appreciate you calling in. Cheers. Yeah, man. Jake Paul. Well, what do you know?
Drake, bro. Why you do this to me?
Why you do this to me? Why? Listen, man, don't feel so bad, Jake, man. Listen, some people don't want to see the fight. Man, Adrian made some good points. Let's go back to the comments. Steve says there's no point to a rematch. Jake can find a better partner. Tommy can go back to fighting cab drivers. Holy fucking moly. I mean, yeah. You know what, Steve? He can do that. He doesn't have to take the rematch. He didn't even lose that bad, and for him to even care. But it'll sit. I don't think it'll sit right with him. I think that Jake Paul's going to go back with his team, talk, see some of the errors that were made, some of the things that weren't done, see some of the strengths that he felt from Tommy Fury, and they'll make a conscious decision. Like Jake Paul, again, he's done it all. He said it in the ring. He's won it. He's been winning for a while. He doesn't have to get in there and get hurt. He's 26. He doesn't have to do none of that. Let's see. Bernie, my man Bernie G40 says this guy is a hater. Like he's the only fighter to talk shit. This guy is a hater. Like he's the only fighter to talk shit. Yeah. You talking about Jake Paul or Tommy Fury? I don't know. The guy hated if like he's the only fighter to talk shit. Let's go, champ. Listen, the phone lines are open. 1-856-624-3369. If you wanted to call in, now is the time. If not, I'm gonna fucking head out. I'm out of here. Homie. It's already what 10-11. Trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to stick with this circadian rhythm thing. It's really working out. Monday will be the next show. That's tomorrow. And I'll try to put together something pretty cool. Listen, I'm going to go conspiracy theories for tomorrow's show, 10 o'clock. I'll surprise you guys. For those that know me, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll dive into some deep, government thing or give you some crazy facts on, maybe government things, right? We always want to know what our dear government is doing. So maybe I'll just make you guys aware more. But I'll pick out the 3 topics nonetheless, put them up on the community page. So if you're tuning in on the Boxing Biz or the Alex Doomsday Linus channel, I would recommend, I guess, to go to the Alex Doomsday Linus channel and check out that community page. I think we're active too on the Boxing Biz community page. So if it's there, I'll post it there too. But for the most part, this episode will be on the Alex Doomsday Linus channel. This will be non-boxing. So Monday's episode at 10 p.m. is on the Alex Doomsday Linus channel. Tune in there. And the next boxing episode, I will definitely post on the community page and let you guys know. Obviously, you guys are boxing fans just like me, so you'll stay tuned with the schedule. Got a lot of big things happening in March. Looking forward to that Caleb Plant versus La Bandera Roja. David Benavidez. It's going to be a good one. Again, thanks everybody that tuned in. Appreciate y'all, man. Let's go back one last time. The Dumatron will deactivate. That's right. We deactivating right now, man. And listen, Jake Paul, I mean, he might feel like he won. You know, he might feel like he need that back. So, you know, when you feel like that, and I know a couple guys that feel like that, you know what I'm saying? You lost, but you did it, and you might have thought you won.
I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him.
We'll get
I
out of
beat him.
here in 2 segundos.
I beat him. I beat him. I
Looks like I shut off the computer. I'm out of here, guys.
I beat him. 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 I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. He was missing. 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 I controlled the fight. I want to talk about the fight. I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. But let me talk something. Let me let y'all know. Y'all know I beat that boy.